Hey, welcome back to the secret underground lair. So we put our little cherry slabs, charcuterie board cherry slabs here into the kiln a little over a week ago. And I'm going to take them out now and have a look at them. When I put them in, they were at a little over 30, well, I couldn't say a little, but they were over 35% in moisture content. So let's see what they are now. Then if it's dry, we'll sand one down and see what we can make out of a charcuterie board. That is today's adventure. So I have three little piles of charcuterie boards in here. And our moisture level on this one, this top guy here, is 5.3%. And here we're getting 3, 4, 4.5. Here we're getting 4.6, 5. So well within the range of workability, but also noticing a lot of cracking. So it certainly has dried, and cherry, as I understand it, is notorious for cracking. So we're probably not going to get as much yield in terms of charcuterie boards out of this lot as we wanted, and which is probably why people don't make charcuterie boards out of cherry, but rather things like walnut. But let's take a couple of these out and see what we can do with them. So here's our stack of charcuterie boards. I'll take this into the shop. So just in passing, I thought I'd mention what I have remaining in the kiln is some of this ash, which upon reflection I actually believe is maple, not ash at all. I'm going back and forth on that one, but I'm coming to the conclusion this is actually a type of maple. Anyway, I've got a piece here that's about 2.5 inches thick, almost 3 inches thick, and some other 1 inch, roughly 1 inch pieces, probably 9/8. When this went into the kiln, it was over 35% moisture, and we're down now to about 12 on this very thick piece, about 12%, and on the 9/8 stuff, we're down towards about 12%. So, or sorry, 7 or 8%. So 12%, maybe sometimes a little higher on this thick piece, and about 9% or 8, 7, between 7 and 9% on the thinner pieces. So I'm just going to let that stay here in the kiln a little bit longer. Take advantage of some warm sunny days that we have coming. So just did a quick scan of these boards using our little handy meter. And I've got some boards here where the content is still very high and ranging, like this piece is 7.5 at this end, but the moisture content up here is 21% here. So clearly my drying process needs a little bit of work. I need to adjust the fan so I get more even airflow. But you can see we've got a lot of cracking happening around here, through here, all around here. So interesting piece, but probably not a good charcuterie board. The other interesting piece of this is that in this little pocket, we had a little pocket of sap, which I don't know if you can see here. Now, I'm a little colorblind, but boy, when this came out, this was just a little pool of, it quite frankly just looked like cherry juice. I mean, it was bright red, almost blood red actually. It was incredible, and no, it wasn't cut, but it was just an incredible splash of color in there. That piece is probably not usable. Here's another one that's got a lot of moisture content in it. At this end, not so much at this end, and of course this is the end that had a crack, so I got a good crack happening through here, another crack happening through here. probably not going to be a candidate for a charcuterie board. And these other pieces are moist. This one has no cracking in it. Well, I guess there's a little bit of cracking happening. So yeah, again, I'm not sure how useful these are going to be. This would have been a nice piece, but again, huge crack. So here's a piece that has not cracked much yet. I got some cracking happening here, some cracking happening there, and so on. So really, out of this entire selection of charcuterie boards, these are all a little moist. Could probably go back into the kiln. Then I've got some material over here that's quite dry, and it's amazing the difference in weight. Clearly a huge crack occurred through there. Here's a piece that's perfect, actually. Well, apart from a little crack there, but I think it might be in one there. I might be able to use that. I'll experiment on this piece. More cracking, more cracking. Here's a piece that has not cracked. Well, a couple little bits here, but this is an interesting piece. Might be useful. I might be able to get something out of that. So I'll experiment with that one too. And then more pieces over here that are also cracked and a little bit more in the moisture content, but still workable. This one has some severe cracking going on and just kind of changing the shape of the piece as it dried out. And then one more piece here. It's a little bit thinner than the others, but might be able to get something out of that. So, as I have been reading, cherry tends to crack like this, and probably why it is not used for charcuterie boards. Let's play a little bit with these and see what we can get. So I've got this piece now clamped in with the belt sander onto the table. Let's just see what a little light sand with the belt sander will do to get rid of the sawtooth marks and the sawmill marks and even the piece out a little bit. With the drying, it has changed shape a little bit. There's a little bit of a hump this way, and there's a little bit of a deviation here where the sawmill blade hit this knot. So we'll just try and even it up a little bit. That is turning into some beautiful wood. Again, the smell is amazing, but not quite the same as cutting it wet. I'll bring you over and get a closer look at that. So this was just a rough sand with some 80 grit on the belt sander. And that has turned out just quite lovely. Nice piece. Seems to be a little more darker red down in here. A little bit lighter up here and some a little bit of odd coloring up there. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to carry on with it. We'll sand it right up. It does have a crack in here, so we might have to do something about that. I'm not sure what yet. I'll carry on. As an experiment, it's interesting. And a little bit of interesting kind of spalting going on right in here. Looks like a little fountain erupted. All right, I'm going to flip it over and do the other side, and then we'll move up into finer and finer sandpaper. And that's just lovely. Got a little close to my brass clamp here, but I'm okay. I'll bring in for a close look on this side too. So that's our piece. Got some interesting marks down in here. A little darker wood through here. Of course, I do have a crack coming there. More of this interesting spalting going on here and here. This is just sandpaper or sawtooth marks that didn't come out with sanding yet. A little more of that spalting here. That's an interesting piece. Very nice coloring. So, of the pieces of cherry that I've got there in my pile, there's just a couple of them that are possible candidates for this, but cherry wood as a whole is nice wood to work with. And I'm not going to throw that stuff out or burn it yet. Let's see what we can do with it. In the meantime, I'm going to get some finer sandpaper and we'll go over this and get ourselves down to about 320. And I need to figure out what I want to do to finish this, because if it was to be a charcuterie board, it has to be a food safe finish on it. So we'll think about that for a little bit. So I have gone over this piece now with 80 grit on the belt sander, then by hand with 120, 180, actually I went to 100, 120, 180, 220, and finally 320. I've gotten rid of all the cracks, so I just have a wet cloth here. I'm just going to see what this would look like with a finish. That's what that piece would be like. That's some pretty nice grain in there. I like that. So I think I will spend a little time looking for some food grade finish. Let's see what we can do with these. And I'll finish sanding up both sides. Also want to think about what to do with these cracks. I don't want them to grow, and I'm wondering if maybe a little crazy glue in there might be okay, or if that's a toxic thing. So, give me your thoughts in the comments. Anyway, I'm pleased with the way that looks. I think that's going to be nice. That's what it looks like dry, and that's what it is with the finish. So again, finished, dry. Quite a difference. So I thought I might use this charcuterie board here that we've got just to show you what I've been up to for the last week. There haven't been a lot of videos, and that's because we've been away. We took a visit to England, and among other things, we took a tour down to the Jurassic Coast near Charmouth and Lyme Regis, near Dorchester in Dorset. And along the beach there on the Jurassic Coast, you can find on the beach things like this fossil. This is an ammonite, about 180 million years old, just there for the picking. And a bunch of other little ones and remnants of little ones. And of course, on that Jurassic Coast, there are some fairly large ones. And these are fossilized belemnites. They're kind of like a little prehistoric squid, but they're just tiny, as you can tell. I mean, there's my fingers. So these are just little wee guys. These ammonites, we saw some in the museum there that are like 2 feet in diameter, so they can be quite large. And of course, various rocks. I call these my prehistoric dinosaur teeth, but they're just rocks. Fascinating stuff though on the coast. And if you ever visit England, do take a look at Charmouth and the Jurassic Coast. Fascinating piece of ancient history right there at your fingertips. So I'm going to call that a video for today. We're going to continue on with the sanding down of these other charcuterie boards and getting an oil to finish them. It is approaching Thanksgiving here in Canada, so probably be a few days before the next video is out. But again, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.